Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new reaction video. So I was scrolling through Instagram and came across this person's page by the name of Will Purvis, and he does street interviews with people about politics and social issues. And recently he did some interviews with people on the street asking them Trump or Harris. What's their opinion? What do they think? Etc, etc. And let's just say I have a feeling the responses are going to be very interesting considering what's happening right now politically with this circus election. So without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some Coke, grab some popcorn, and let's watch these interviews together. All right, here is the first interview on his page.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala. I like her and I'm a Democrat.
And why do you like her?
Because she will be a good female president, and I would love to have a good female president for the U.S.
And what do you think she'll do good for our country?
She'll actually help our country more than Donald Trump would do, because she is smart and she's more reliable.
And what do you think are some exact things she'd do?
She'll do lower income and lower taxes.
So she'd lower everyone's income?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Is that a good thing?
That is a good thing.
She'll lower income.
Donald Trump is the worst president in the whole wide world
How come?
because he hurt the Capitol building and he started World War III.
And that's the first interview. First of all, why is his phone upside down as he's interviewing this person? I don't know, that's weird. But the funniest part about that entire interview is the fact that she mistakenly said she's going to lower income. Was it really a mistake? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Lord. You know what's really sad is that there literally are people. There are people in this country who are sold on Kamala Harris. Sold. Never mind the fact that just a couple of months ago, nobody even liked her. Nobody even heard from her. She was like in some type of shadow government because nobody saw her, nobody heard from her, her poll numbers were trash. And then all of a sudden, the media decided she's our pick. So everyone, let's gather around and make her the best thing ever. And what's so sad is you got people who are so far gone with their Trump derangement syndrome that they're willing to pretend that Kamala Harris is now competent, that Kamala Harris is now the answer, that Kamala Harris was always the answer. I mean, if she was this good, why weren't people screaming for her to be the nominee when Biden was still claiming that he was going to be the nominee? Why wasn't there a large crowd saying, we want Kamala, we want Kamala? Nobody was saying that. Not one person. Not even the DNC. But now all of a sudden that she is the nominee, not that she earned any votes, but now that she's the nominee, everyone is acting as though she is the answer to everything and she's just so amazing and oh my goodness. And I mean, this woman, something seems off about that voter. I'm gonna just say that. But then again, with most Democrats, they seem to be on that same wavelength of, I don't really know why I like her. I just know that she's not Trump. So therefore, I'm going to just pick her and say, yeah, she's great. And then when he asked, so what exactly has Trump done specifically that has been detrimental to the country? And all she can say is, he hurt the Capitol. Oh, and he started World War III. You know what I love? When people complain about Donald Trump and they say, if he becomes president, he's going to do this and he's going to do that and he's going to destroy the country and democracy as we know it. Even though we are a republic, not a democracy. He's going to, destroy women's rights. You know what I say? Define a woman. Oh, you can't? Next. Or when they say, oh, he's going to bring back segregation and black people are going to be in so much trouble. Funny, because when he was president 4 years ago, he gave more money to HBCUs than any other president before him. And he actually signed bills to help with prison reform, which affected primarily black inmates. But yeah, if he becomes president, he's going to create segregation and he's going to destroy the nation like he did 4 years ago, even though we're still standing. Whenever people say that if he becomes president, A, B, and C is going to happen, the sky is going to fall, just remind them that he was president in 2016 and we're still standing. Next video.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Kamala Harris. You don't want Donald Trump.
Who?
He'll just cause riots. And Kamala Harris is a normal woman. She's not a thug or a gangster.
Do you think Donald Trump's a thug?
Yeah, he's a thug. He's got, 35 counts of whatever it is, felonies.
Yeah,
he
that
thinks
stuff.
he could be pardoned from all of it and run for president again, which the first time, he wasn't even president the first time. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton, and they kept her on the down low.
And what do you think about the stock market crashing right now under Biden and Harris?
Well, that's the whole thing. That was not Biden's situation. That was all Donald Trump.
Right now is because of Donald Trump?
It's all because of that. The reason why it's going down is because of Donald Trump. And it's going to do it again if another riot comes out again.
And where do you get your information from?
I get it from the news. CNN, whatever, Channel 31, Channel 2.
CNN. Enough said. Enough said. We can all go home now. He watches CNN. That explains it. Speaking of CNN, Kamala Harris did her very first sit-down interview. Very first. But of course, it wasn't by herself. It was with her running mate, Tim Walz, because God forbid she sits down and does an interview by herself where she has to answer tough questions off the cuff that isn't a pre-recorded interview where CNN can edit and only give out a quarter of the actual interview. Yeah, that was her first sit-down with CNN. Alrighty then. First of all, the guy can't even pronounce the woman's name, right? Yeah, Kamala. And then he mentioned she's a woman. Funny. It's funny how the party that can't define a woman 365 days a year suddenly knows exactly what a woman is when it comes to why you should vote for Kamala Harris. Because she's the very thing that we can't define. She's the very thing that anybody can be. Okay. It's funny how suddenly, I don't know, the binary suddenly exists. Suddenly it's clear as day. And of course, the stock market crashing is Donald Trump's fault. Even though it's crashing under the Biden-Harris administration, it's still Donald Trump's fault. But if the stock market was skyrocketing right now and was super successful, I guarantee you that same man would be saying, oh, because of Biden and Harris. Obviously, not because of Trump. Bad things happen, it's Trump's fault. Doesn't matter if he was in office or not, it's his fault. Good things happen, Harris, the woman. And then he says, she isn't a thug, she isn't a gangster, but Donald Trump is. While he's standing in this attire. Really, sir? Really? You know, I kind of love Kamala supporters because they make my day and they give me content. Next video.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
How come?
Shit, I like to get money, and you know,
Hey.
he about the money, so
Me
let's
too.
get it. I ain't worried about all the other shit. You're a businessman. I'm a businessman. It's just, that's what it is.
What do you think about Kamala?
I don't think too much about her. I don't know too much of her. So I seen what the economy was. I seen she was a part of the Biden camp.
Hello.
So she had to been a part of what was going on in the economy, right? Prices are up, gas prices up, groceries up, everything up, rent up. You know, so I was making way more money, and now it's like it's a little bit of a struggle. Rent prices, you know, you pay $2,200 in Boulder for a 1-bedroom, you know, and that's just being friendly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, isn't it funny that, first of all, he's speaking common sense, right? He says, I don't really know much about Kamala, but what I do know is she was a part of the Biden administration. And right now, under the Biden administration, our country is falling apart. Economically, we are not doing well. Groceries are skyrocketing. Inflation is skyrocketing. Everything seems to be going up. And yet Kamala's supposed to be the one that's going to fix it. How does that make any sense when she's a part of the problem? That's like me coming to your house, breaking your stove, breaking your fridge, breaking your windows, and then saying, I'll fix it. Don't worry. But first you gotta pay me. Huh? I mean, it makes no sense, but that's exactly what Kamala Harris is trying to bring forth to the American people. She's saying, I have a plan. I'm going to fix it. If I'm in office, day one, I'm going to do this. You're in office right now. You're literally in office right now, and you're doing nothing but giving us promises. You know why? Because if she fixes anything, then she has nothing to run on. The irony, though, is that in order for her to acknowledge the problems, she has to acknowledge that it was her administration with Biden that caused the issues, that did not fix the issues. You were in office for the past 4 years, and now you have a plan? Alrighty then. You don't need to know much about Kamala Harris. All you need to know is that she's been in office for the past 4 years. She's been second in command for the past 4 years. She's had direct access to the sitting president right now. She has his ear past 4 years. And yet she has no excuse as to why the country looks the way that it does. But she's gonna fix it. Next video.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump, when he got shot, I think again that boosted his aura. Man, I just had so much admiration for him. I was just like, man, Trump, he said some crazy things. He did boost the economy. Kamala Harris is like Biden's daughter. Chocolate chip, him being senile. She was just like a second version of him. I'm not trying to have that again, you know. Trump will actually make it. When Trump was running president, he was really entertaining.
And did you know Kamala, she's not black, she's Indian.
No way. I actually saw a video of her like using slang like 2024.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's pretty crazy.
in 2024.
Oh my God, I don't doubt that, because she is Chameleon Harris, as I like to call her. I love how he said she's pretty much the daughter of Biden. She is the same person as Biden. She is offering nothing different. She literally is giving the same thing that we've had for the past 4 years on a silver platter and saying, hi, I'm going to fix it by using the same thing that we just used for the past 4 years. What can go wrong? Kamala is literally the same person as Biden. She is carrying the same message. Nothing's gonna change. And isn't it funny how he brought up Trump's assassination attempt? Because I can't remember the last time I heard the media even talk about Trump's assassination attempt. It's as if it never even happened, which is crazy. I mean, a former sitting president was shot and almost killed live on TV. And a week later, the mainstream media forgot about it. Now, something tells me if somebody shot at, I don't know, Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, or God forbid Obama, it would be on the news cycle to this day, okay? We still will be talking about it. They still would be replaying video footage of it and discussing what happened. Trump got literally, I want to say 4 or 5 days of news coverage, and then it was like to the races with Kamala Harris because she announced that she was going to be running with Tim Walz, and all of a sudden nobody cared anymore about Trump. It just blows my mind how completely biased the media is. And speaking of, I saw an actual statistic that showed, I think it was like 86% or something along the lines of media coverage for Kamala Harris right now is positive, while for Trump it's 80+% negative on the same exact news channels. But somehow she's getting 80% plus positive ratings and positive news coverage, and Trump is getting all the trash. Why does that not shock me? You know, when I used to be on the left, I used to hate when Donald Trump would say fake news media, fake news media. To me, I was like, oh, come on, stop with that crap. What are you talking about? But now that my eyes are opened, now that I see exactly what's happening, now that I can actually compare and see the difference because I'm no longer drinking the blue Kool-Aid, it is so clear to me how unbelievably biased the media is when it comes to their coverage. It's crazy. I mean, Kamala Harris was appointed by the mainstream media as the new president before she even got 1 vote, and she still hasn't gotten 1 vote, which is the craziest part of it all. Won't do any interviews by herself because God forbid. Her first interview is under the guise of her running mate, who seems to be more prepared than she is, which is crazy. She couldn't fester 1 vote in the primary. Yet Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Last I checked, Donald Trump actually received the nomination from the people. Take a look at this news montage of the mainstream media talking about how Kamala Harris and this election is more about vibes. We don't need to talk about policy. We don't need to interview her in depthly like we did with Donald Trump. We don't need to, because it's all about the vibes. And this is the mainstream media, the people who are supposed to be giving you the news. This is their actual opinion. And watch how they're not holding her accountable the same way they hold Donald Trump accountable.
The media were preoccupied with like how much access, how many conversations is she going to have? I don't know how much that matters.
There is risk in talking to us. There's no doubt about that.
Then you hear the criticism, oh, she has to do more interviews. She has to talk about policy. Insiders you're speaking to, they're sort of like, no, absolutely not.
As a campaign hack, no. I love you all, but I don't want her talking to you all right now.
Remember what Elizabeth Warren did when she ran back in 2020? She had a white paper for every policy position under the sun. And what happened? She collapsed in the primary. So there's a belief that perhaps you put more ideas on paper, that's a bad idea.
The more details you share, the more your policies are going to get picked apart.
Harris has changed this from being a policy election and more of like a movement, a cultural movement.
It's a vibes election. Right, that's right.
Policy, vibes. Vibes election?
It's a vibes election. This vibes election that we're all feeling right now.
It already felt like a vibes election before.
Most elections are vibes elections.
I think every election, frankly, is a vibes election. And I think there are really only 2 vibes that matter in American politics. One is hope and joy, and the other is fear and anger.
Candidates don't need us as journalists to get their message out. They don't anymore.
I mean, not that you needed any convincing, but when you have the mainstream media calling this a vibes election, it's all about the vibes. What they're really saying is, we don't really believe in her policies. We don't really think that her policies are going to be winnable. So let's just talk about how great she is because she's a woman and she's black and she's giving good vibes. And hopefully that'll get her through till November. Yeah, I don't care about vibes. I care about the economy. I care about protecting women's spaces. I care about the future of this country. And that's why I will be voting for Donald Trump come November. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video. What did you think about these interviews? Were they crazy? And what did you think about that montage of the actual media admitting that this election, when it comes to Kamala Harris, is more about vibes than actual policies? Crazy. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, peace.